All right, let's jump right in. Picture this, a high-stakes conference room. This isn't just any old business meeting. This is where the future of tech partnerships between China and Europe is being hammered out, and we're going to break down exactly what was on the table.
So, the scene is set in the Netherlands. The event? The Shandong Netherlands Business Matching Conference. And look, this was not your typical trade show. This was a very carefully orchestrated event all about having some serious strategic talks about where Europe is headed.
So who was at the table? Well, there were three key players. You've got Inspur Intelligent Terminal, a heavy hitter in digital infrastructure. Then there's Qingdao Kelanu Energy, who are all about green energy for your home. And finally, iBattery Cloud, which also goes by Yunshu. They're the deep tech wizards in advanced battery tech. Three different companies, but as you'll see, one very unified delegation.
On the surface, their goal seems simple enough: partner with Europe. But this is about way more than just selling products. So, that leads us to the real question here. What was their actual pitch? What are they really offering? And just as important, why are they offering it right now?
And that gets us to the heart of their whole strategy. You see, this pitch wasn't just a random assortment of gadgets. No, it was a laser-focused proposal aimed squarely at Europe's two biggest ambitions right now: the green transition and the digital transition.
Let's just set the stage here for a second. Europe is on an absolute mission. It wants to be the world leader in renewable energy. And at the exact same time, it's trying to build its own strong, independent digital foundation. Now, that creates some huge technical headaches for sure, but it also opens up massive opportunities for partners who can bring real solutions to the table. So let's look at the first part of their pitch, the green energy play. And what's smart about this is they're not just selling one piece of the puzzle. They're showing up with a whole multi-layered solution that covers everything from a single-family home all the way up to the entire city grid.
And you really have to think about the insane scale of this challenge. I mean, for Europe to hit its green targets, it has to somehow plug millions of new solar panels, home batteries, and EVs into an already pretty complicated power grid. So how on earth do you manage all of that without the whole system just falling over?
This is where their strategy gets really interesting. It's like a divide and conquer approach. You've got Qingdao Kelin focusing on the home, the micro level. We're talking rooftop solar, your EV charger, a battery in the garage. And then you have Inspur tackling the big stuff, the macro level. That's smart charging networks for entire fleets, giant megawatt chargers for trucks, and even whole microgrid solutions for businesses. It's the whole shebang.
Okay, so all that hardware is obviously impressive, but that's just the start. The really disruptive part of their pitch, the secret sauce, if you will, is the software that holds it all together. It's a deep tech innovation that could completely rewrite the rules for energy storage.
And this is where iBattery Cloud steps into the spotlight. Their core tech is called the Dynamic Reconfigurable Battery Network, or DRBN for short. Basically, it's incredibly smart software that turns a dumb, rigid block of battery cells into an intelligent, flexible, and self-managing digital network.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The old way? Think of battery cells welded together. One bad cell goes down, and it drags the performance of the whole pack with it. It's a chain, only as strong as its weakest link. But with DRBN, it's a programmable network. The system is smart enough to just bypass a weak cell in real time. That means you can mix old cells and new cells, which is huge. The bottom line, the battery lasts way longer and it costs a lot less to run. For Europe, this could make grid-scale energy storage so much more affordable and reliable.
Okay, but to manage a smart green energy grid, you need an equally smart digital layer running underneath it all. And that brings us to the second pillar of their pitch, helping to build Europe's next-generation digital backbone. And this is where Inspur's other big strength comes in. I mean, look at this list. They're offering everything from huge Ultra HD 8K displays for stadiums and media to bleeding-edge virtual production screens for filmmaking. But they're also pushing into smart healthcare, digital home systems, and all kinds of smart sensors for things like intelligent cities.
This quote from Inspur just nails it. Their mission is all about high-end, smart, and green tech. You can really see how their digital stuff and their energy stuff aren't two separate things. They're two sides of the very same coin, both aiming for a future that's more connected, more intelligent, and way more sustainable.
So they've laid out all this amazing technology, but honestly, maybe the most strategic part of the whole pitch is how they want to work together. This isn't just, hey, buy our stuff. This is a whole playbook for deep, long-term collaboration. The business model itself is part of the innovation.
And one of the coolest ideas is this shared factory model. It's a pretty powerful concept. Here's how it works. A European company brings the great idea and the research. Inspur provides its high-tech smart factories and its dialed-in global supply chain. And what does Europe get out of it? A way to get amazing new products to market way faster without having to spend billions building new factories from scratch.
And it goes even deeper than that. They're also talking about setting up joint innovation labs to invent products specifically for European customers. They want to empower local distributors to build up the market, and they want to work side by side with European companies on huge projects like smart cities. This is about building a shared ecosystem, not just making a sale. So, let's just tie this all together. At the end of the day, this was not 3 different companies showing up to make 3 separate sales pitches. This was one highly coordinated team effort where each company's specialty perfectly complemented the others to create a single, powerful solution. When you zoom out, what this meeting really hints at is a potential change in how global business gets done. You know, we might be seeing a move away from simple import-export deals and toward these much more complex, deeply integrated partnerships where you're building and innovating together from the ground up.
And that really leaves us with one big final question to think about. As the world's problems, things like climate change and digital disruption, get more and more complex, is this kind of deep, specialized, border-crossing collaboration going to become the new normal for how we solve them? Is this the new standard for innovation?